What's going on, guys? Jacob Orth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas with the lovely
Laci, Las Vegas gal. It's good to be back.
Yes, she is one of the favorites here on the show. Today we're going to be talking to you guys here about selling your home. Should you do it? Why might you do it? Things like that. And she's going to help guide us through the process.
All right, let's get it going.
All right. So, Laci, we're talking somebody's looking at selling their home, whether they want to move here to nice sunny Las Vegas one day.
300 days of sunshine a year, just FYI.
Exactly. Or they already live here in Las Vegas for whatever the case may be. I mean, if someone says, I'm thinking about selling my home, they're up in the air on it, what would you ask them, what would you say to them to get them thinking about whether it would be a good idea for their situation?
It's so funny that you're asking that, because this is a call that we get a lot from people who are considering moving to Vegas. A lot of the people that actually watch your channel and my channel who are thinking about it, dreaming about it, and they're in this moment right now and they say, why am I not doing this today? Why have I not started to look at things sooner rather than later? Why do I have to wait? Or the other side of it is, I was gonna move today, maybe I should wait. There's all this weird kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
So the first question we always ask anybody is, why are you thinking of moving? Period, end of story, why? If you're not really clear on the why, as to whether it could be my house is too small, or it's too big because the kids have moved out, or I've never purchased a home, but my mom helped me buy a condo and I want to get rid of it because, it could be 100 ways from Sunday as to what it is, but you have to know your why. Once you know why you want to get rid of this asset that is a really good asset to have, we never want to encourage you to sell real estate unless you're going to take the equity from that home and move it into something bigger and better, or better for your lifestyle. So first question is why. Know your why. After you know your why and you really solidly kind of feel good about kind of some of the things that are roaming through your head, whether it's too big, too small, want a bigger kitchen, don't want to live here, want to live in the desert, hate the humidity. What are the barrage of reasons people call us to want to move here?
Get out of the cold.
Yeah. You want to first and foremost identify, what do you owe on the home? That's a really big piece of the puzzle. A lot of people think, I bought the house for $400,000, I owe $200,000, so I've got $200,000 in equity. Yeah, you do, but there are fees associated with selling your home. So just because you have $200,000 possibly in equity, meaning money that you could cash out and take with you if you sold the home and made that full price, doesn't mean that that's the amount that you're going to get. So we want to make sure that you're thinking about all aspects of what it takes to sell your home. So why is number one, and really what the heck am I doing here? What do I owe? What do I really kind of have in front of me as those numbers start to get laid out? And then once you, kind of understand what you owe, I always recommend that you talk to a professional. Now, we are the professionals here in Las Vegas, myself and then the Sarong group. I have amazing agents that work with me. You've met a lot of my team.
Yes,
they're pretty rad, right?
Yes, they are.
They're not cool enough to be on this video. No, they're totally cool. But genuinely, they're really good at serving the community and making sure that you understand what you can get for your home. I am not an expert in Milwaukee or New York or Florida or Texas or California, and I'm very open about that, but I'm an expert at making expert friends, and so are you. So we've actually together done a really good job of building a beautiful network of professionals across the nation who we feel confident and comfortable sharing your information with to let them guide you in that area. So if you're from, Duluth, is that even Minnesota? I don't even know where that is. Duluth, Minnesota. I knew it was a city. I just didn't know where it was.
Minnesota.
Or Kansas City, Missouri. Wherever you live, don't stress. And we also know that everybody's got an aunt, uncle, sister, brother. Everybody's got a real estate professional in their family. It's good to start with them, but I always want to recommend that you start with somebody who does not know you and has no outside interest in what the heck's going on in your life. So we would be happy to share that list with you, or connect you with someone specifically, so they can give you an estimate of what the heck your house is even worth, and tell you what the market conditions are for this area, and what the heck are homes even going for. What should you expect timing wise? How long is it going to take? Because that's stuff that people don't think about.
Exactly. So I remember, you guys can contact Laci down below. She's got a whole team now of people working together. So contact down below, and then somebody will get in touch with you to help you with that process.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to people looking to sell the home, what are, like you said earlier, if you think you have put $200,000 to your home, you have $200,000 equity. What are some of the costs that people don't even think about when it comes to selling? They're not going to have that full $200,000 like they think.
There's closing costs. So even when you're the seller of a home, there are closing costs that come into play. Closing cost, everybody has to get paid, right? Everybody in the transaction has to get paid. So if you have a lender that's helping you get a loan to buy a home in Vegas, because you're going to leave your house in Duluth and move to Vegas, because that's the smartest decision you could make today. Just kidding. Not really. But if say that's it. So if you're going to get a loan, there's a lender, there's fees associated with the lender for your next purchase. If you're just working with a title agency or a lawyer, because sometimes some states require a lawyer be involved, timing can take a lot longer, and also fees can be higher. So that's where the real estate professional really is going to come into play. If they don't show up to your meeting, or at least produce during your meeting or thereafter, a list of fees and expenses that you can anticipate on top of what their fees are specifically to help you sell the home, call us, we'll get you someone else. But genuinely, we're not going to connect you to somebody who wouldn't produce those types of documents. You will know up front before you make any decisions, exactly down to the penny, at least in estimate form, what you're going to be able to take out of the house.
Okay, and someone who's selling their home, say they live in Iowa, they live in Minnesota, Florida, wherever, and they're selling to move here, how long can they expect the process to take to buy a home here? If things go smoothly in a good purchase, what can they expect?
It's actually a really good question. Let me dip back to the last one first because I forgot something. Another expense that might come up is repairs. A lot of people who take care of their home and really love their home don't anticipate that there's actually stuff wrong with it, and it's a hard pill to swallow when they're selling their house. What do you mean? I put those floors in myself. How can you say they're put in a bad fashion? Whatever. Just be prepared to be upset and also to have a little bit of money that needs to come towards that. Okay, now on to your next question. So when it comes to selling and buying a house here in Vegas, selling a house is always, is always based on market conditions. So we can always talk about that another time. Buying a home though, from the moment you write the contract and it's accepted to the end and you are handed the keys, it can be as short as 30 days for a loan, 15 days for cash. I've even done 12 days, but that was a really stressful week and I prefer 15 days. But truly, you can do a shorter close if you're paying all cash. And a lot of people are doing that, Jacob. A lot of people have beautiful homes in other areas that are far more expensive from a cost of living perspective, and they've got equity, like true equity, and they are able to sell the home, take a fat chunk of money, and buy a little bit of a house and still have money left over to invest in other ways. So we love that. So if you have cash, we can get you in a house, boom, 10, 15 days, you're good to go.
Jeez, okay. Yeah. Now, one thing people look at a lot of times when it comes to buying homes are the interest rates they can get. And right now, the interest rates are pretty low. Yes. But the Fed is keeping them nice and low for people.
They sure are. Thank you. Ding.
Yeah, the Fed's keeping them nice and low. So, I mean, when it comes to that, do you think people give too much weight into the interest rate as to the home they want to purchase? Or what do you tell people when they're waiting for a better rate or seeing what they can get? Like, when people seem like they're overthinking it, or they're letting it consume too much of the home buying process.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head. Consume too much of the home buying process. I couldn't agree more. Here's the problem we run into. If you do it the right way, you will have a lender that works with you who is actively looking at those rates on a daily basis and who can lock you in the minute they're able to lock you in. The problem is you usually, most of the time, have to be in contract to be locked into that price point, locked into that interest rate. So until you find the house, there's really no sense in focusing and stressing about these interest rates because they literally change on a daily basis. Right. So if you can look and talk to your lender, I'm not allowed to talk about rates, but we do have Amber Coleman, who's a really good friend of both of ours. She's amazing. She can give you all that info. Is her info going to be below? Her info should be below. Yes. With that being said, Amber's a really great place to start. So talk to the lender. Let the lender tell you, on average, this is what we've been seeing for the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, so that they can help you understand the trajectory and the trend. But they're going to tell you the same thing we are. Just find the house you want. We'll fight for the right rate. Just find the house you want. If we get into a position where we're back up at 10, 12, 14% interest rate, it definitely makes a big difference. Frankly, even 5% versus a 3 can make a massive difference on how much budget you have to spend. So I understand why people get so focused. They want the most house for the least amount of money, but this place is pretty cheap as it is, so I would just say let's find you the right house and then we'll back into it from there.
Yeah, compared to a lot of other bigger cities and big metro areas, Vegas is probably one of the cheaper ones. Okay?
Yeah. Although Midwest, I will say we've had a couple people from the Midwest and they're saying it's definitely a step up for them. So we can understand that it's on both sides. We're not just talking to the big city people with this video. We want to make sure we understand that. So
yeah, exactly. Depending on where you're coming from, Vegas might seem a bit pricier, but to a lot of people, especially if you're on the coast, one of the big cities, you're going to come to Vegas and think like, wow, this is really cheap.
Yeah. And we try to get really creative when we're searching for homes. Like, for instance, we have a client who is very focused on the interest rates, which we can respect, and we will go along with that ride, no problem. But what's awesome is he was so focused on the interest rates, but wasn't even willing to look at the homes that we were telling him he could afford. And what we realized was we could actually reduce his budget if we just made small tweaks to what he was actually requiring in his home. So at first he was asking for RV parking, 4-car garage, all this stuff that's really hard to come by in Vegas. It just is. So what was cool was we had a conversation. We know the rate's important. What if we tell you we can save you $40,000 right now if you just pay for RV parking outside of your home. How about that? And then it turned into, oh, screw the rate. Yeah, that's great. So we try to really dance and work with our clients to make sure that they understand rate's not the most important thing if you can be creative on the other side.
All right, so be aware of the interest rates. You know, you have an idea what they are, but don't get caught in the day-to-day.
Yes.
Because if you have no house you're even looking to buy, then the interest rates don't matter.
Yeah, you got it, man.
At that point. Okay, so when it comes to selling, people thinking about selling, I mean, any other, things we want to cover? I mean, right now, one of the big things, a lot of people are working from home. They're going to be continuing to work from home.
Yes.
So for some people where they're living, it doesn't make sense to be paying as much
for
where they're living.
I'll tell you what, during this pandemic virus situation that we've been in, it has been an interesting thing to see. And there's a silver lining that I feel has come through this, in that big business has finally woken up and realized people are responsible. They can work from home and be productive. And oh my goodness, we don't have to have a brick and mortar that involves, people clocking in and clocking out on a daily basis. So I think that's a beautiful thing that's coming from this. It's giving people a lot more freedom to determine where they live, where they raise their kids, and they're not stuck because of that job, that city, that environment. I love that, and I can be grateful for that, at least in this moment. With that being said, some of the things that you want to think about, and some of the big decisions that are being made right now are based on the fact that people are now working from home. Because people are not tied to that city any longer, or that building that their boss told them they had to come to before, they're now going, why am I paying $3,800 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bay Area that I could be paying $1,700 a month for a 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot house in Las Vegas, still do the same job from home, have an office in my home instead of being on my living room couch all day trying to get it done while my cat's running across my screen and my daughter's banging pots. I mean, it's crazy. And our clients really paint those pictures for us when we talk to them. They call and say, I'm sure you've heard this from 83 people, and then they go into it and I go, I have, but I'm happy to hear it from 84, because I understand, you get pent up, anger and stress because all of a sudden you went from, this is my cute little quaint apartment and I leave for work, to this is my office, this is my work, this is my home, this is my life. Oh my God, get me out of here, right? So for us, it's been a big, big reason for why people are starting to sell. So that would be one of the reasons I'd start to consider. But while we're in this mode and you are working from home, trying to sell your home and prepare your home to be sold while you're in that mode might be difficult and might prove to be difficult. So take that into account if you are considering selling your home, and understand that selling your home involves people coming into your home. You can require masks and gloves. You can require a full-blown body condom if you want it. I don't know, but it's going to require people seeing your house. So you have to be okay with that. If you're super scared of what's going on right now, maybe not the time for you to sell. Maybe hang tight, If you're not, and you're like, screw it, I got to get this thing sold. I'm moving to Vegas. First of all, we love you. And secondly, let's do this. But it's been really interesting, Jacob, to see all the people here in Vegas that are just trying to sell their homes have issue and concern around people are coming to my house, and making it very difficult for buyers to actually get through the door to be able to buy it. So if you're going to sell your house, be ready to sell your house. Don't get scared of all the other stuff. That's really the last tidbit I would say is important to keep in mind, especially in the time that we're in right now. Now, if you're watching this 3 years from now, just skip to the next video. I'm sure we've got something updated, but that's for today.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, well, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on too. Doing a little bit of a dance with my friend here. I have missed you, my friend, and I'm happy to be back.
Cool. So hey, we're back together working. I told you guys, Laci will be back on the channel here. All that kind of cool stuff. So if you guys want to contact her, links will be down below. You can reach her if you need help with your mortgage side. Links will be down below for Amber as well. But we wanted to bring this video talking about selling your home. Should you do it? And just cover some grounds, for people who might think about doing that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate being back. Thank you to all of you who've reached out. It's been really cool. And I'm going to keep singing my positive song, and we'll just go from there. Cool. Move to Vegas.
Yeah. All right, guys. That'll be it for here. Hang on. Let me read that.
Okay.
That's it. This is Laci. I am Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.